I'm a Libyan origin and I was a businessman. Right now, more involved with philanthropy work and the Libyan situation. I founded recently a new party, and the reason is we are demanding that there is elections, and without party system, you cannot have a proper election. For the purpose of the immediate program, obviously we have medium and short term and medium term. The medium term is elections has to be held very soon. We believe that the only solution to the situation in Libya is through elections. Yeah, this is the French insistence, or Macron in particular, President Macron, adamancy of having elections in December. And as usual, many things have happened, and to be honest, there's not many things that have happened, more like things not happening for the election. And now we have again, they have put a date in the spring, which should be around April, May. But before that, they're having a conference in January of where 800 Libyans will be attending and talking about certain subjects, and the main subject is the conciliations between the Libyans. The question is not if the conference could happen. The question is, when they refer to conciliation among Libyans, there is no problem among Libyans. I mean, there's minor problems, but there's no major problems that could damage or affect the stability of the country or could affect the elections. The conflict is more towards the people, the many governments and people who are running the country now, who do not want the elections. This is my true belief. The difference in Libya is because when we talk about Egypt or we talk about Tunisia, you have the army, you have the police, you have stable institutions that have continued working even after the downfall of the previous regimes. In the Libyan situation, most of it was dismantled. And this is mainly one of the agendas of the Islamic Brotherhood, where they gradually dismantled the hierarchy in relation, for example, to the Ministry of Interior. With the army, as we all know, is scattered, is divided. It is not in a strong position. And that is due to the leaderships of the various areas of the army. But as far as the army is concerned, could it be collected together? Yes, it can be. It might take some time. But we as Libyans should care more about is the re-establishment of the police system, which was well established even during the old regime. You see, when you look at the Islamic movement or the Brotherhood, they're made into kind of divisions or provinces or whatever you want to call it. You have the hierarchy up, and then you have subcontractors or countries, if you want to call it subcontractor country divisions. You'd have one in Libya, one in Egypt, one in Tunis, one is everywhere. So they manage it like they manage a holding company. And each one is independent from the other, but at the same time relying on each other. So when it comes to infrastructures, you have the infrastructure of the whole Islamic Brotherhood in one. So when they service a country, for example Libya in this case, you would have the infrastructure of Qatar, you'd have the infrastructure of Turkey, you would have the infrastructure of all the experienced people in the Islamic Brotherhood. So they're quite well organized as a bigger picture, not just like us. They don't look at Libya as a country. They look at the Arab world and the Muslim world as a country. So they deal with every country as if it's just a province of the main country. There is no question that Turkey is the main power behind the Islamic Brotherhood. This is no question of this. And then you have countries like Qatar, obviously the best example, who are directly involved. Then you have other countries which are assisting in the idea. For example, you mentioned the Islamic Brotherhood in Libya. For the first 4 years since 2011, when you look at the authority and the power that they had within Libya, where even at that time, during the Obama administration, there was a backing to the Islamic Brotherhood within the Middle East. There's no question. There was in Egypt and there was in Libya. I mean, the two countries that I could talk for, or I mean, know about. In Libya, we had the minister, not the minister, the ambassador, Deborah Jones, who was, and I spoke to her on the phone on many occasions, who categorically said that we are, or let me say, they rephrase it, they use more delicate words, we have no issue with the Islamic Brotherhood. And that they are the majority because they are conservative, and we are, like myself, are the minorities. Yeah, when we take Libya, for example, happily enough is that the Libyans are by nature conservative people, so they don't need to be taught the Islamic religion. They know the Islamic religion. This is number one. And number two is that the fact that they don't have this kind of support within Libya, you know, because the way that Libyans look at this, we know our religion, we don't need anybody to teach us religion. And for the last 40 years or 50 years, is that this, you know, kind of, during the old regime especially, where it was always highlighted how dangerous if we were to talk to or get involved with the Islamic Brotherhood. So I think in Libya they're not so powerful. They're powered by being in the right place at the right time. It's not quantity, it's more of a well-organized quality. I mean, that is a total joke and an insult, to be honest, whether to Ocampo or to myself. The whole idea of when Luis Ocampo was asked to become my advisor in legal matters, it was in relation to how to be able to dismantle the militias and how to safeguard the majority of the militias, who are the young ones and not the leadership, to prosecute. And also to look at the various funds of the Libyan government, etc., and those kind of legal matters that we could stop, not getting worse. So we had nothing to do whatsoever of trying to influence or backdoor or anything to do with the ICC. It was a straightforward a subject that he was very keen on, and obviously myself was very keen on, is how to put law and order back into the country through the jurisdictional system, you know, proper laws and orders and things in relation to the prosecution of people who have committed crimes against the Libyan people. The only people, the person, the entity that could make stability in Libya is the Libyan people. And the only way you've got to do that is through proper elections and a democratic system. Now, however the people vote for, okay, into the government, that is one person, one responsible for the country. Now we have so many countries or so many people who will pretend to be leading Libya. Nobody's leading Libya. So what we need is a one government situation. As far as the interference of the Italians or the French or the British or all of them and the neighboring countries, I think in some cases the intentions are good, but misunderstanding the real problem, which is the giving too much credit to whether it's to the militias or to the existing government or leaving the parliament so loosely, you know, by trying to be over polite and accommodating to everybody. You can't be accommodating to everybody. The only person you should be accommodating to is the Libyan people. I think let's differentiate between the two. First of all, when the 2011 happened, obviously it was, you know, under the Sarkozy government at that time, and truly that movement was on time, because a lot of the military were moving into Benghazi, which could have been a very dangerous situation. But anyway, I think the French attitude is, no, let's have a stable Libya for the long run and have a proper country that would be able to be a stable and a North African country which has a long border within the Mediterranean Sea. So I think it's between a short-term look and a long-term attitude. We would like the assistance of any international community to help us have a stable Libya, but not to interfere in Libya. We want to have our elections for the good of the Libyan people and the Libyan country, and therefore for good of the neighboring countries too.